Welcome back to the show. This is Beyond the Bayou.
Hey, everybody.
It's me. I'm Jake. That's Brucey on the other mic.
Dad.
The
Pops.
father.
Pops.
Old man, as I like to call him. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Mainly weird stuff in Louisiana. Cryptids, ghosts. Cryptids and ghosts.
Yeah.
I have 4 different topics to talk about. I think Dad's got a few others.
Yeah, got a few.
You got a few? Okay, my topics are the rougarou, which is very popular here in Louisiana. They even have a rougarou festival down in Houma.
We need to go to that.
I would not mind
That
going
would
to
be
that.
cool.
I think it would. Anyway,
Kick it off.
my second topic is the Honey Island Swamp Monster. That is Louisiana's version of Bigfoot.
Is?
Kind of. Big dude has webbed feet.
Oh, wow.
Makes it easier to swim,
That's
apparently. Cool. Allegedly. Third topic is Jacques Saint Germain. That is the vampire that started alleged vampire that started the vampire rumors in New Orleans. Do you know that?
Mm-mm.
You didn't know that?
I lived down there. I graduated from school. I was down there we lived there for 18 years, and I've never heard of most
Jacques Saint Germain.
Most of these folks.
That's crazy. It must be like a deep South Louisiana thing.
Could be. And
then, of course, our last topic, or at least my last topic I have in my notes, is haunted Louisiana. And that is all over the place. New Orleans is haunted. Shreveport's haunted. Shreveport's bound to be haunted with all the shootings that happen there. Anyway, like the south wind, right? We're just going on. We're not going to stick on that subject. Anyway, in our own little town here, I didn't want to disclose where we're from, but I'm going to anyway.
I told him time.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, then.
It's all right. Grand Cane, we got our own little string of supernatural.
Yeah, we needed to do some stuff on that too. We need to interview some people, and that should be coming up pretty soon. I can get in contact with several people, and we can kind of go from there. That would be interesting.
Yeah, the old Grand Cane School, which is now called Central Christian Academy, is said to be very
Put a little
haunted.
plug in there for them.
Yeah. Y'all go, it's a great school. But anyway, it's said to be really haunted, specifically by a little girl ghost. And I know people personally who have seen and heard the whisper.
And why is it haunted? I mean, it's not... Did
apparently she hung
away?
herself in the basement.
That would explain it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That or she fell down the stairs going to the basement and...
That's highly possible.
Also died doing that.
Oh,
There's a lot of different rumors as to how she died. But she's also supposed to be one of the ones that haunts downtown Grand Cane as well.
Traveling ghost.
Yeah, they move around.
No, but I mean, aren't there other entities that's been heard of or noticed in that school? It's just not just quote unquote her.
From what I know, it's only her.
Okay.
It could be others, I don't know. But yeah, so what topics do you have? Because that's what I got in my notes.
Well, got this one character called the Grunch. And it's considered to be a New Orleans shadowy cryptid. And again, I've never heard of this guy.
I apologize for the way my dad just said New Orleans.
Nolans.
Orleans.
No, Nolans.
Nolans. So describe our Grunch character.
Well, it's, let me see. It's a creature that's said to haunt the streets of New Orleans, particular around the infamous Grunch Road.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this tale goes back to the early days of the city's settlement, when a group of albino dwarfs supposedly retreated into the woods to live in isolation.
Okay.
As the story goes, years of inbreeding led to the Grunch becoming more and more deformed and less human-like.
Okay, so the Grunch is supposed to be human.
Supposedly, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
They're described as having sharp teeth. So there must be quite a few.
There's multiple. Bunch of little Grunches running.
Not Grinches.
Grunches.
Like, the Grinch stole Christmas. This is the Grunch.
It's a little Grunch.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, continue.
Anyway, all righty. They're described as having sharp teeth, goat legs, and all sorts of abnormalities that would make your skin crawl. They're said to hide in the tall grass, waiting to prey on unsuspecting teenagers. Yeah, we know how teenagers can be, who make the mistake of parking on Grunch Road.
So they're like just nasty, mean little grumpy trolls.
And it says here too, one of the creepiest parts of the legend is that the Grunch supposedly use injured goats to lure people out of their cars. Oh, okay. Oh, let's go back. When they say parking, they mean parking.
What do you mean?
Well, not just parking, getting out and going to a
family
bar
show, brother.
Parking like
family
this.
Show.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway, let's move right along.
We're supposed to be a family show. We're not going to talk about that.
Okay. Anyway,
on to the next one, brother.
But anyway, it lures people out of the car. Once the poor sap steps out to help the animal,
reading a newspaper article from the poor lad,
the Grunch attacks, draining their blood and devouring them whole. It's the stuff of nightmares. Okie dokie. And well, let's finish this out. It says there's no of this topic. There's no hard evidence to support the existence of the Grunch. But that doesn't stop the legend from persisting.
So it is a mere legend.
Yeah, looks like.
Until somebody finds it, just like old Big Brown in the woods.
And there's another one called the Parlangua. If I'm pronouncing this right, I hope
that's
I am.
the snake, right?
Serpentine mystery of swamps.
That doesn't mean snake; it means snake.
Yeah. Anyway, but it says this was found like you heading back into the swamps. It's a massive serpentine creature that's said to inhabit the Chafalaya Basin.
Okay, massive. Does it say how big it's supposed to be?
It's often compared to the Loch Ness Monster.
I think that's generally recognized as like 30 to 35
at
feet.
least, with eyewitness accounts describing a long, slender body, a reptilian head, and humps or coils that protrude from the water.
Huh.
Well, they have the power to hypnotize its prey.
Okay, Old Nessie's described as having a large body. It's about 4 foot tall and 25 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's reported by fishermen and hunters dating back to the early 20th century.
Let's see, and it's in the swamp? Okay, so if it's the same thing as Loch Ness Monster, let's say Nessie is real, and we're going to go about this from a logical, biological, scientific standpoint. Nessie is supposed to be a plesiosaur, which was a marine reptile way back in the day.
Yep.
So would it be possible for a marine reptile such as the plesiosaur to make its way to Louisiana swamps?
Why not? They inhabited the earth anyway.
What better place for a plesiosaur to survive than in the swamps? It's got food.
Yep.
It's got all the water that it needs. It's hidden from the world. I don't know.
Chafalaya Basin is a mighty interesting area, that's for sure.
Yep. I don't know.
Yeah. And let's see. Okay, that's that one.
Okay, so far we've talked about the human beast hybrids called grunches. We talked about a bunch of little grunches running around and stealing people from their cars when they're getting a little steamy.
Moving on along.
Carrying on. And then we talked about the plesiosaur, serpentine monster that is supposed to be like Nessie.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
If I'm pronouncing this right, it's Parlangua. Yeah, but let's see. Oh, they've had numerous expeditions and investigations on this, but no one's been able to find any concrete proof of the Parlangua's existence. So it could have died off. I mean, I'm not doubting these people that have, in the past, seen these things. I mean, it's a creature. It obviously lives and breathes, and it also dies. So it may have died off.
Hey, but if it's a living creature, it also reproduces.
Possibly. There's another one hanging around.
I fully believe something prehistoric could still be living in the swamps. I mean, the swamp is a really weird, strange place. And if you haven't been to the swamp or been through a swamp, where it's nothing but cypress trees and lily pads and all that, you don't really understand the depth of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's creepy. Especially when you're there late in the evening, early morning, when the fog is still settled right above the water. No thanks.
It's like a plesiosaur or a mosasaur.
In my prehistoric knowledge, I would lean more towards plesiosaur. Mosasaurs didn't have...
Those are water dwellers, aren't they?
They're both marine
land
reptiles. No, marine. Mosasaur didn't have a long neck like plesiosaur did.
Gotcha.
So if it were an ancient creature still alive, I would probably say plesiosaur.
Mm-hmm. What do you have?
I got a lot.
Go for it.
The rougarou. Arguably one of Louisiana's most famous cryptids is a werewolf that lives in the swamp, supposedly. They're all in the swamp. Everything's in the swamp, obviously. Because where else are weird creatures going to live in Louisiana besides the swamp? There was apparently a sighting in Houma in 2016. Now, I had ChatGPT help me kind of, what am I trying to say here? Kind of map out this episode. When it said Houma sighting 2016, I went straight to the internet. Thought, no way. That's pretty recent. 9 years ago? There's got to be video. There's got to be a picture. Nothing. No videos, no pictures, no articles. So I thought, well, either it was scrubbed from the internet for some weird reason, or ChatGPT doesn't know what it's talking about, and I probably am more inclined to believe the latter. Don't trust AI, folks. Anyway, so the rougarou, first known as the loup-garou. Now this is all from my notes here, folks. I got notes. I gotta have notes. Its origins come from Cajun Catholicism, but more specifically, 16th century medieval France. And it was used as a scapegoat for crimes. If you didn't have an actual suspect, you blamed it on the loup-garou or the rougarou. If a child disappeared or a house was ransacked, the loup-garou often became the scapegoat. Belief in the monster was so strong that many civilians were accused of being the culprit, put on trial, found guilty, and killed because they were thought to be the transforming werewolf. Part man, part wolf.
There you go.
Full cryptid. Moving on, French and French-Canadian settlers eventually spread the legend of the rougarou to Louisiana, and it was through the Cajun French that the term loup-garou evolved into what we know as the rougarou. What you think about that?
Funny how things evolve into different names.
That's the origins. See, there was no alleged sightings during the origins. It was just like a fairy tale used to scare kids and blame crimes. So, I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to move on. According to the legend, it's often described as half man, half wolf. The rougarou is essentially the French version of the werewolf, as we've been saying. According to Louisiana legend, the monster lurks in swamps around Acadia in the greater New Orleans area. I could see that. Acadia is a wild place, so is New Orleans. Fables based on the rougarou have been used to instill fear and obedience, like I just said, to help, set children on the right path. Or the wrong one, depending on what style of parenting you subscribe to. Growing up, children were sometimes told if they misbehaved, my goodness, they were told if they misbehaved, the rougarou would come snatch them away from their home. Yeah, if you would have told me that as a little kid, I reckon I'd probably act right. It was also said that the French Catholics who broke Lent, and this is actually in my notes here, the French Catholics who broke Lent for 7 years in a row would be hunted down and killed by the beast. So not only was it a way to keep children in line, it was a way for you to keep your Catholic vows in line. The traditions of Lent had to be kept, and in order to do that, why not just say a werewolf's going to come kill you?
If you don't do it, they're going to come get you.
This is interesting. I don't have this in my notes. How to become a rougarou. All right, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. According to Cajun folklore, a rougarou is a human placed under a spell. That's kind of anticlimactic. Those under the spell have the opportunity to change back to a human after, and this is very specific, in 1 days.
101.
But only by transferring the curse to a willing victim. It makes you wonder who'd be up for the task. It certainly does, because traditional werewolves, all they got to do to transfer it is bite somebody. In order to become a vampire, you just got to get bit. Not with this, apparently. To become a rougarou or a Louisiana werewolf, you have to be willing to become one. That's pretty interesting. What's your question?
I wonder why
Brucey?
the 101 days.
Oh, no, that's pretty specific, huh? So according to, once again, the AI that always pops up right when you Google something, the 101 days is associated with the rougarou legend is a common belief in Cajun folklore. It's said that the rougarou is a human curse. Okay, I knew all that, but the curse can be transferred, their blood cycle. Okay, it doesn't mention why.
Doesn't really say.
Doesn't talk about why.
Somebody just made up just off the top of their head.
Yeah, probably. Like 1 day sound good. If we said 100, it would be too specific. Back to how to become one. In some accounts, the process of transferring the curse requires a helping human to draw the blood of the rougarou. After the ritual is complete, the rougarou can return to its human form. Other stories say the rougarou is permanently cursed, shape-shifting into its beast form at night and changing back to its human form by sunrise, similar to obvious werewolves.
The werewolf, yep.
During the day, however, the rougarou appears sickly and vulnerable. Interesting. So it's like it draws its strength from the moon or from nighttime. Silver Bullet, right? Wasn't that the preacher in that
movie? Yeah.
Or was it Gary Busey?
No,
he killed the preacher.
The preacher. Anyway.
So that's the rougarou.
But again, you're not seeing anything that has anything like eyewitness accounts.
No, there was a few Reddit stories that were written by people who have accounts of seeing them. I don't have them in my notes, and I wish I would have. But I was kind of focused on this Homa 2016 sighting. But like I said, once I got to researching that, I could.
After that,
sometimes AI is wrong, so I think AI probably just threw it in there. I was like, haha, I got you. All right.
Well,
my plan is to do Q&As after each topic. So,
sure.
What questions do you have about the rougarou?
Well, no, I was just, there again, it's kind of like, at least jumping back like on the Bigfoot, at least there's definitely sightings and photographs and video and whatnot of that, but nothing of the rougarou. And
nope.
I have here that even today sightings of the rougarou persist, but that helps to keep the legend alive and sending shivers, quote unquote, down the spines of those who dare to venture into its territory. Sounds like to me that it's been passed down folklore. It's been passed down, and you tell little Johnny not to go into the swamp, or because fear of gators or snakes or whatever grabbing him. So you tell them they may be more scared of the rougarou, so they won't venture there. It's because there again, there's no, to our knowledge, or even researchers, no actual photographs or, anything like that. So I'm just kind of looking while I'm kind of talking. And it's kind of real similar in the description. There's been more sightings, more photographs, more video of the skunk ape as opposed to the rougarou.
Yep.
And there again, I don't know if they're made up or whatever, but regardless, people have been seeing these things more, and more documented footage or pictures of these guys.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the skunk ape, Jake? Do you think it's all possible, or all these reports, especially like Bigfoot and Sasquatch, have all been, kind of up the northern area. But what do you think?
The old skunk ape. Well, let's see. We got Bigfoot. We got Sasquatch, which I guess are the same thing. There's the Yeti, the abominable snowman, the skunk ape. I think they're all real, and they're just subspecies of one larger, weird, supernatural species. Are you asking me specifically about the skunk ape?
I guess so.
Okay. Well,
what we've been able to come across and find, I'm looking like it says here, one of the topics was one of the most talked about skunk ape sightings in Louisiana happened back in 2000 when a group of hunters in the Honey Island Swamp, and that's another deal, the Honey Island Swamp
monster.
Yep.
Okay, continue. What are you reading from, by the way?
I need to go back up here and look and see. This is I guess it's a blog. It's just Legends of Louisiana Cryptids, and it's from Hanger One Publishing.
Okay. All right, let's hear it.
So
I do want to start by saying how interesting it is that the skunk ape is also in the Honey Island region, where the Honey Island swamp monster comes from.
Now I wonder if that's the same dude.
Connected. It might
anyway,
be.
It says what they claimed that they encountered a large ape-like creature that reeked to high heaven. They even managed to get a few seconds of video footage, which of course sparked a whole new wave of interest,
obviously,
in the legend. But there's always a but. Despite numerous investigations and expeditions, no one's been able to find any hard evidence that the skunk ape actually exists.
Sure. Nobody has hard evidence that Bigfoot exists. Well, I guess there's a little bit. But.
And then, of course, experts are saying, or skeptics are saying, too, that sightings can be chalked up to misidentified bears.
Bears.
Or feral hogs, or even just old-fashioned hoaxes?
So it can be chalked up to be a hog, which stands at a maximum of 3 feet tall. This 8.5, 9 feet tall.
Right.
Bipedal. Hogs are not bipedal. Interesting.
And a bear can walk on its hind legs, but only, not for a very long distance. The way they're describing these guys, that's the way they walk, What are you thinking?
I don't think it's a hog.
No, I definitely rule out a hog.
I would rule out a bear just because bears don't walk on 2 legs. They just kind of get up and look around in their area.
Well, a black bear, that's usually what they have down in that area. There's no grizzlies or anything. Nope. So the adult black bear would stand approximately how tall? What, 6 foot? Maybe,
Probably,
5 foot.
Yeah, 5.5, 6
Possibly.
feet. I would think.
They're saying these guys are like 6 to 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There again.
This says black bears can stand up to 7 feet tall.
Okay.
Up to, and that's the largest. That's that. That has
but
to be
again,
how
far can they walk on hind legs?
Far. It's just they scan their area. They can get up higher to get a better view, and then they get down on all fours and continue on.
That's how they travel. So not like us. We can walk on our all fours, but it's not like we're going to do it all day long. We're going to stand up and walk on 2 legs. That's what we're designed to do. And that's why they're designed to walk on all fours.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty much all I can see on that or find on that. Do you have anything more on the skunk ape?
Not really. I'm just going to lead it into the Honey Island Swamp Monster because they do apparently seem to be the same thing. Yeah. So I'm not just going to say they are. This photo that somebody painted.
Painted?
Yeah. Okay. Is a picture of what appears to be a Bigfoot. Let's see, I'm reading off of howstuffworks.com. This is an article on the Honey Island Swamp Monster. A towering cryptid draped in mystery. You ready?
Go for it.
The Honey Island Swamp Monster is a species rumored to dwell within the lush Honey Island Swamp in Louisiana. The enigmatic being, wandering amid the cypress trees and standing a towering 7 feet tall, or more, exhibits a mesmerizing fusion of hues, grayish-brown hair, or scales that adorn its formidable bipedal forms. Now, the scales is interesting. I heard about the scales. So, a lot of people who've seen it with scales, from what I understand, they're like gar scales. Like the scales on a garfish. Thick. I don't know why it would have scales. Witness accounts recount its striking glowing eyes in shades of fiery yellow or haunting red, as well as a pungent lingering odor that permeates the air.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the rougarou. It says the same thing about the glowing eyes and
the smell. So. Yeah, if you stay in the swamp for an extended period of time, you're going to stink, Anyway, revered as a descendant of escaped chimpanzees or an undiscovered species, the Honey Island Swamp Monster has intrigued generations. Though concrete evidence remains elusive, blurry photographs, strange footprints, and eerie audio recordings continue to fuel fervent discussion surrounding their existence and chromatic allure. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And this one here says this guy here saw it when he was out fishing, and he describes it the same exact way that you just did, that gray hair, covered in gray hair with glowing eyes and a stench that would knock you flat. Unusual footprints it left behind, 3-toed and webbed like nothing anyone had ever seen. So, it's just, then this one says this thing was some kind of a chimpanzee alligator hybrid cooked up in the depths of the swamp.
Hey, there's a lot of talk of chimera in the Enoch.
That's right.
And that's the fusion of 2 separate beings into one. So like the Minotaurs and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe our Nephilim foes did a little tampering down here in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Listen to this. The first documented sighting. In the early 1960s, a man by the name of Harlan Ford and his friend Billy Mills, 2 air traffic controllers, embarked on a fateful journey along the Pearl River, forever entwining their names with the local legend of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. While out hunting, they ventured into Honey Island Swamp and stumbled upon a sight straight out of a horror movie. A towering creature cloaked in grayish-brown hair, exuding a pungent odor caught their gaze. However, the monster fled, and rain obliterated its tracks, of course, leaving only the men's accounts to support their alleged encounter in the swampy backwaters. This marked the very first reported sighting of the human-like being. Interesting.
And Pearl River is down there in the Mississippi area, too, as well. So I guess it kind of winds around.
Yeah. But that wasn't the last they'd see of such a creature. In 1974, Louisiana's Honey Island swamp monster came to public attention after Ford and Mills emerged from a remote area with plaster casts of unusual tracks. So now it's getting into the physical evidence.
It's the same people again, though.
Yeah, same two guys. They had happened upon a wild boar with a gashed throat, suggesting it had crossed paths with a beast with yellow eyes. This gripping story, combined with the presence of the wounded boar, ignited a fervent search for answers, perpetuating the legacy of the cryptid. The sightings gained widespread attention in the 70s when a filmmaker captured footage of what he claimed to be the mythical animal while documenting the swamp. Interesting. Filmmaker Charles Mills played a pivotal role in documenting the Honey Island swamp monster. In the 70s, he directed and produced the influential film. Tell me what it is.
Oh,
you know it.
I bet it's...
Come on. You got it.
Okay. Falk Monster.
What's
Legend of Boggy Creek.
Which explored various cryptid sightings, including those related to swamp monsters. While primarily focused on the Falk monster in Arkansas, the film touched upon other similar creatures such as the Honey Island swamp monster. I didn't know that. I watched the movie in 4th grade, so it's been quite a while. We might have to watch that again.
Yeah, that's a cool movie.
Oh, fun fact. The Duck Boys, Duck Commander, they have bought the rights to that movie. The Duck Commander people have bought the rights to the movie and are currently in production of it.
I can't wait.
Like a newer, more version.
Not what do they call those? B movies or this?
Oh like, just like hokey movies.
Yeah. But well, not to say it was hokey.
No, not at the time.
I mean, not the people or anything. It was just the way it was produced. But they use local talent and our local people. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my favorite scene from that is when the poor guys in the outhouse. Yeah. And
that's everybody talks. That's the first thing everyone talks about with that deal. Is just like that's my favorite part is when the guys.
I mean, it's pure comedy.
But it's a great,
It is a good little movie.
That's the word I'm looking for. The way to describe
low budget film.
Yeah, but anyway.
Back to it.
It was fun.
Yeah, I liked it. Anyway, back to this. Mills's work brought attention to the elusive entities, contributing to the popularization of cryptozoology. Fun fact, I would love to be a cryptozoologist.
Well, who says you can't? What do you have to do?
I have to have money to go to school for.
Oh, well.
And I'm still working on that part.
Can you do it online?
I can do it online.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. No, I said can.
Oh, you can. I can't hear.
Okay.
Anyway.
His film remains an important cultural reference in the study of cryptids and legendary creatures. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that movie was also based on the swamp
I didn't
monster.
either. Cool. Wow. Yeah, I found that basically the same guy here, and it says, he had made a comment. Let's see, okay. Anything that can survive, it says like in one of the harshest environments on Earth that captures the imagination and refuses to let go. I tell you, there's just something about the swamps that lures stories and people and all that. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
It really is, and like I said earlier, if you've never seen it, you don't really can't know what it's like.
It's just really cool.
So let's talk questions about our Honey Island swamp friend. What do you think? We thinking Bigfoot? I'm thinking personally a Bigfoot-like creature who simply evolved to living in the swamp.
Yep.
That's all right.
I am too. I mean, I just again, there just seems to be more rock hard evidence on some of these things that they've seen, and again, the rougarou could be what are the skunk ape could be what they're talking about that could be similar into the rougarou. They're real similar in character.
Yeah, but one's a dog-like creature.
Yeah, that's the only thing too.
I mean, it's supposed to be like a werewolf.
Definitely some differences.
But it's like we said, when you're in that state of fear,
right,
and your mind's not in
state
the right
of shock.
place, you're shocked.
There's all things going through your mind.
Sometimes
you're seeing.
You don't know what you're looking at.
Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah, now as far as the skunk ape goes, I've often heard this too, and we may be jumping off into something else or touching base on it. That is it. Since there's obviously been sightings, there's obviously been photographs and videos, but one of the big main questions is, well, why haven't we found like bodies, dead bodies, or more evidence, or of this skunk ape or Sasquatch or whatever? And I've kind of just about gotten to the point where I'm thinking it's not of this earth. I'm just wondering the same about the skunk ape, since they're related, obviously. That reason why no one has, say, found a body or whatever, because they're obviously some type of living, breathing animal. I mean, they're gonna eventually die as they get old or with disease or whatever. But I'm just wondering if there's a portal. They're coming from somewhere else, I don't know. Other areas, one where they can reappear and appear in different places, and why people can't seem to, I don't know, find these things.
Yeah. Well, as
what do you think?
Able to move from one plane of existence to
right. And this one thing that I was reading here, they said that they found footprints and made plaster cast of the skunk ape, and then after that, it was like they did that, but they didn't find any more footprints. It's like all of a sudden it just stopped. No more prints.
Yeah, it said our boys Ford and Mills did that as well.
Right, that's the ones I'm reading on. It's like, okay.
They made these plaster prints, and
then all of a sudden there was no more prints or anything. It's like, what happened?
They're also in the swamp.
Yeah, that's true too. But they did make plaster cast of some prints, and then all of a sudden, why weren't there any more? I mean, why didn't those prints, say, disappear into the swamp? They found prints somewhere. It was either on land or something, but it's like they just stopped. There was non-existent after they made those. There was no more prints.
I don't know. I personally believe it'd be harder to get evidence for the swamp monster than a Bigfoot,
like the big guy,
because just of where they're located.
Right.
Water. There's so much cover. Again, I'm going to say it for a third time. If you've never been in the swamp, you don't understand what it's like. It is thick with vegetation. There's murky, muddy water with a visibility of -3 inches. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If these guys live in the swamp, very rarely are they going to go up on dry land.
Mm-hmm.
If they're up on dry land, they're probably hunting, trying to find food, and that's when the footprints could be found.
That's exactly right. And that's what I gather from this. They were on some type of ground. You have to have something like that to make a cast. But then that's what I'm saying. Then after that, the footprints stopped. That was it. No more.
Also, he's called the skunk ape.
True.
So if he is just a large ape, brother could just be nested up in the tree. That's why stuff is never found.
He could definitely have climbed the tree and moved through the trees, I don't see any reports of that any sightings have been, of these guys up in trees or traveling, but that doesn't mean that's not the way they can travel on land and go through trees, because, there's a lot of
unfortunately,
thick trees down in that area.
Yeah, those big cypress trees with all the Spanish moss. Our unfortunate reactions as humans is, our first reaction is to not look up.
That's exactly right.
And usually,
that's true.
Go through the day and just count how many times you look up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like, you can count it on one hand. You know? So
I find myself looking up a lot more at night, since I've talked about on that last podcast about seeing some things in the night sky. And I find myself looking up a lot more. But there again, you are right. Unless we're in the woods and we're hunting, say, for instance, we're initially, depending on what we're hunting. But if we're hunting squirrels, of course, we're looking up. But if we're just looking for deer signs, and we're always looking down. But you're right. That thing could stop in one spot and try to climb a tree and go through the trees, and then find another spot to go down, and it travels on ground again. Who knows? A lot of questions.
Yeah, you're right. Unless we're hunting things like squirrels or a bird that are obviously up and you have to look up. I'm not looking up.
Nah.
If anything in the woods, I'm looking down so I don't step on a copperhead.
No copperhead, no shoulders, Yeah,
Well,
that was a lot of. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go.
No, a lot of this stuff, like I said, is just. Possibly a lot more other people have heard of these cryptids, and again, we sure would like to have your comments. There is a comment section right on
yeah,
your
there
page.
should be.
Yeah, that we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, just on the page itself.
Yeah, on the page itself, and
I'm still working on a submission form and a website, but once I get that up, that'll be a lot easier for people to send their stories in.
Right, and I mean, heck, you have a link anywhere on there? Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, once I get the website set up,
I'll
I'll
have all of that. So, yeah. And again, folks, this is our second podcast, so just bear with us. We're trying to work out the bugs and kind of, but just be patient with us and all that. And, we got a few comments, on some of the things that a few people wanted us to talk about. What was it? With rougarou and
I put a poll up on Facebook asking what people would want to hear about, and people wanted a combination of everything.
Yeah,
so, it was the rougarou,
which we have that here in Louisiana, that's for sure.
yeah. It was the rougarou, the Honey Island Swamp Monster, Jacques Saint Germain, and just haunted Louisiana.
So I'm not familiar with that guy. Is that the vampire guy?
He's fun. And we're gonna get into him next.
Cool.
So. Well, that could be our little segue.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You want to talk about Louisiana's first vampire?
Yeah, let's get off into that.
Saint Germain. All right.
You have the info, so.
Well, I have one note.
And again, this guy's new to me. I mean, I knew I didn't know his name.
I actually learned about
pretty cool
vampires in New Orleans from a show. It might have been Ghost Hunters, that show. Fun fact. No, never mind. I'm going to save it for our last topic.
Oh, keep me in suspense.
Well, Ghost Hunters did an episode in Green.
Oh, yeah, sure did. And that's what I'm saying. I want to talk to several people that they interviewed. I guess they interviewed them, huh?
Oh, yeah, they would have.
Yeah, so I want to definitely talk to them.
Okay, here we go. From Wikipedia. I don't normally use Wikipedia. It's very untrustworthy and not a reliable source, but for little things like this, it's okay, I think. Jacques Saint Germain is a legendary vampire figure originating from the folklore of 20th century New Orleans. So we're talking
just current.
Pretty current.
Well, I mean,
from the 10s to the
20th century.
30s. Yeah, he's associated with the historical Count of Saint Germain and is said to have moved to New Orleans from France in 1902. Saint Germain earned a reputation for entertaining New Orleans aristocracy with luxurious dinner parties, although he never partook of the food served. That's a bit weird. His wealth and mysterious background led to rumors of his vampiric nature, with supposed sightings and attackings being attributed to him by the locals. The legend of Saint Germain has inspired cocktails, and his reputed residence on Royal Street has become a tourist attraction.
Yeah, got a big old picture here.
So, Jacques Saint Germain was a real person. Was he a vampire? Was he not? That's why we're about to do a little bit of research and see if we can't figure him out.
Yeah, I've looked him up here. That's a big house.
That big house. I'm looking at it.
And parties. Well, of course, New Orleans, known for partying. Anyway.
Yeah.
It says here he had access to a substance that made him live indefinitely. I guess that's by his own thinking.
Oh, so fountain of youth type
yeah,
stuff.
That's probably by his own thinking.
You never know. Weird
He
stuff.
said he could turn basic metals into gold, and another rumor says he took the imperfections out of one of King Louis' royal gems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I heard about the royal gem when I was doing the initial research for old New Orleans vampires.
He didn't stay in one place too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was a party animal, and some of the guys didn't like him hanging around their women.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
All right, I'm reading from Pelican State of Mind here. Jacques Saint Germain, the infamous Louisiana vampire. Flawless skin that never seems to age, eyes that pierce into your soul. Never hungry, but always thirsty. Powerfully charming, yet peculiar. They draw you in with their fascinating stories and hypnotic voices, but you can't help but think something seems a little strange. You go anyway, down into the depths of their dark, eerie palace, where their treasures, quote-unquote, lie. Only to realize that you're but a pawn. Your muscles clench as chills run down your spine. Someone's thirsty. As they flash their crooked smile and you see sharp teeth sharp as knives. You know you found yourself in the midst of a monster you've only read about in books. Vampires have been long fantasized in folklore and mythical tales. We can't seem to resist the enchantment of these curious creatures. And unlucky for us, in Louisiana, vampires are closer to home than we think. Though the earliest tales of vampires date back to Greek mythology, New Orleans is home to some of the most prominent vampire myths. Most prominent? The tale of the Comte de Saint-Germain, whom many believe to be Jacques Saint-Germain, Louisiana's very own vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing on, who is the Comte de Saint-Germain? Picture this. It's 1700s France, and you receive an invitation to a dinner party filled with prestigious guests. You show up to a lavish mansion, bursting with conversation. A man walks in, almost gliding as if floating on air. We know vampires to, their little cloaks kind of make it look like they're floating. He speaks in a way which you've never heard before. His eyes lock onto you. He speaks of events of 100 years prior, with such detail you could swear he was there. The Comte de Saint-Germain mysteriously came to the scene in France in the 1700s, although records suggest he may have been alive long before that, even during the time of Christ. Now here's where that's where it gets a little weird for me, because Lilith, which is a demon of the night, is also said to be a vampire back in the days of, I believe it was the days of Noah. But anyway, back to the story. French historian and philosopher Voltaire, King Louis XV, sorry, I don't know that number, and Italian writer and adventurer Casanova all claim to know the Comte. Voltaire even said he is a man who knows everything and a man who never dies. Official records show that the Comte was born in 1710 and died in 1784, but many claim to have seen him as recently as 1970. The Comte was a man with undeniable intelligence and wit. He captivated the elite with his knowledge and charm, yet he never seemed to age. He spoke 6 languages, possessed a brilliant artistry, played the violin, and even grew diamonds.
Grew diamonds.
Yep, you heard that right. The Comte was a very accomplished alchemist. Alchemists worked in turning metals into gold and creating beautiful jewels out of small stones.
No wonder the women hung around him.
Alchemists also searched for the fabled elixir of life. The Comte's work in alchemy may explain his incredible wealth. The Comte even trained other alchemists, including one under Queen Marie Antoinette's rule. At the Queen's execution, the alchemist supposedly saw the Comte years after he, quote-unquote, died. The Comte wrote a book discussing his work with alchemy and symbols, but to this day some parts of it have yet to be decoded. Interesting. Who is Jacques Saint-Germain? Many consider New Orleans to be the most haunted city in the United States, and with good reason. Perhaps one of the most infamous, sinister figures claimed to roam the streets is Jacques Saint-Germain. Some 200 years after the alleged death of the Comte de Saint-Germain, an immigrant from the south of France named Jacques Saint-Germain arrived in New Orleans and moved into a dwelling off of Royal Street. Jacques' knowledge, charming wit, and seemingly ageless presence made him well known. He spoke of events that happened hundreds of years in the past with great detail. He threw lavish parties with the finest foods, entertainment, and most prestigious guests, but he never ate a bite of the food he served. Sound familiar? No one questioned his seeming immortality, but maybe they should have. Not long after he had taken up residence in New Orleans, things got creepy quickly. There's a tale told by many vampire enthusiasts in the Big Easy that one night Jacques invited a woman over to his house for a party. Okay. After a while, he asked her up to the balcony where he attempted to bite her neck. She freaked out and escaped by jumping off the balcony onto the pavement below.
Ouch.
Right. A broken leg. At least she didn't get the blood sucked out of her. The story goes that the terrified woman had drops of blood trickling down her neck. People quickly surrounded her and called the police. When the police arrived to investigate, they found something that made their blood run cold. In Jacques' home, they found clothes from all different time periods stained in blood. There's absolutely no food or utensils in the house, bottles of what seemed to be red wine, but were in fact human blood filled his cabinets. What they didn't find was Jacques Saint-Germain, who never returned to New Orleans after. Legend has it that Jacques Saint-Germain was actually the Comte de Saint-Germain, who people still claim to spot around the world.
Wow. Okay. So I
that was by Wren Middleton on Pelican State of Mind. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was finding that basically almost the same article you were reading here on that, and it said it was a rumor. She was a rumored prostitute, and that she was delusional from her drunkenness and confident that there was a reasonable explanation.
Yeah.
So, okay. Police officers didn't want to bother the esteemed Saint Germain with questions at such a late hour. Somebody else sounded like was on the payroll.
Yeah.
But anyway. Anyway, but yeah, wow.
That's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unfortunate for the lady. She probably broke her leg on the fall. But
Yeah.
it's good that she escaped, and that is a true story of Jacques Saint Germain. Pretty weird that a person would just have random bottles of blood in his
And never
apartment
had any
or in his
stitch
home.
of food in the house.
No food, no utensils, no drinks,
So,
clothing from every era.
question is,
Hit me.
so how do they actually think this, or rumored that this guy was? He had clothing dating, he said dating way back
Yeah, so...
with bloodstains.
Yeah, the first known appearance was in the early 1700s, but some speculate he could be even from the time of Christ. It's a little over 2,000 years ago. But there's nothing to back that up. That's probably just hearsay and speculation.
Folklore to keep the legend.
But the first official recount is the early 1700s. On up to the latest recount was 1970s.
Wow.
Which, obviously doing the math right quick on my phone because I can't do it in my head. That would mean, let's just do 1710. 315 years old, roughly. So, you believe in it?
Well,
What do we think about vampires?
He could have been, just, I don't know, possibly. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he could have been just a collector.
Yeah.
Since he traveled, obviously.
Well.
Found these other clothes.
Yeah, but he had bottles of blood in his
But he had bottles of blood in his house and no food.
Okay, so this is interesting. Let's see. What I was going to ask something. I do believe in vampires. I think they are a faction of demons that possess people because Lilith, who was the first vampire, was a demon of the night who allegedly stole kids from their homes,
Yeah.
And I think it's all tied in. I think blood has a lot to do with it. Blood is very, what word am I thinking of? Symbolic.
Yep.
Blood is very important. Blood rituals happen often, and I don't know. I believe in them. I really do, because obviously I believe in demons, and I believe vampires are a faction of demons. So, yeah, I believe in vampires, and I believe our buddy Jacques Saint Germain might have just been one.
Definitely. Sounds like it, because, I mean,
It's all a little too weird. Bottles of blood, clothes from every century, no food, no utensils, no drinks, nothing.
Yeah, he had to survive or live off of something. I mean, if he had no food, what in the world did he eat? Obviously,
That's where the bottles of blood come in.
doesn't sound like he did eat.
Blood. He drank blood because he was a vampire. That is how he survived. So it makes you wonder.
Where is he now, though?
Yeah. Is he here? Is he still alive? Somebody in the 70s claims they saw him.
Well,
Can we hypothesize that the blood, or blood in general, is more powerful than we think?
possibly.
Why are vampires drawn to it? Why was it so symbolic back in the days of Christ and even before then? Why does God warn us dabbling in blood rituals?
And see, it's like you said, you were saying about believing in vampires, because I mean, it's not your typical, or stereotypical, is that the right word, of vampires we see in the movies. I mean, obviously, here's one here that I was just looking up.
This ain't Twilight, folks. I know that much. This ain't that kind of vampire.
Give me a minute.
Take your time, Brucey.
Vampires in New Orleans. Meet the Casket Girls.
Oh yeah, the Casket Girls. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Are they researchers, or who are
No, the Casket Girl, you'll have to click on that link and read about them. I had them originally in my notes, but then I couldn't really find a whole lot, so I didn't want to include it. There was a lot more on Jacques Saint Germain than there was the Casket Girls. We'll move on now to our final topic. This is one that I've been looking forward to this whole time because I love talking about this stuff specifically. Got any guess of what we're going to talk about? Haunted Louisiana. Ghost. Specifically, stories from our area in the greater DeSoto Parish region. So, I got here, New Orleans, obviously, very
Obviously.
haunted, one of the most haunted, if not the most haunted city in all of the United States. Closed Ellerby Road School. You know about this?
Uh-uh.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Look it up. Look it up. There's a road on Ellerby. Duh, a road on Ellerby.
Yeah.
There's a school on Ellerby Road in Shreveport that has been shut down and abandoned. And it is said to have been haunted by some students that died there. I think.
Really?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Earlier when I mentioned the YouTube,
Right. Okay, here it is.
You found it? Creepy looking, isn't it?
Originally named George Washington
Yes, Carver High School.
Carver High School.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
But you don't have a picture of it?
I don't know for some reason unless it's under that. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyway, it is abandoned. Has been since, I want to say the 70s? Yes, closed in 1973. Established in 1957. The school was built during the final decade of the segregation movement and served as a primary school for black students. Due to a low population base and the challenges of desegregation, the school closed its doors in 1973. Haunted by legends. The school is rumored to be haunted by a janitor who began, I'm not going to say that, assaulting children, and later set the gymnasium on fire, leading to the disappearance of several students. So it's supposed to be haunted by him, who probably died in the fire, and those students who also died in the fire. Right up the road from us in Shreveport, the place is still there, and it is very creepy looking. You want to see this picture I got of it?
Yeah, I'll look at it here in a minute. It says here, janitor molesting and abducting students.
Okay, he said it.
Huh?
Well, we probably have to just cut that little part out.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. No, because that would take
They
away
said
from the
even
story.
devil-worshipping activities
Yes.
were taking place at the location.
So there's Satanism involved. There's sexual assaults of children.
And there you go with the vampire thing, too. That's where a lot of that people are drinking blood and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to drive by that place. Oh, cool.
Oh, but that's not even the creepiest photo, though. I wish I could put pictures
Why
in
am
here.
I getting a picture on here? Maybe it's because I know why. It's
Look at
George
this photo.
Washington Carver.
This one is freaky. Check that out. Check it out. Look.
What's that on the wall there?
Graffiti, but who knows what kind of graffiti. But yeah, so that's Ellerby Road School. I'm kind of surprised you working in Shreveport all this time hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm still just looking here. Was it elementary school?
It was a high school, I think. Yep. But yeah, that's abandoned Ellerby Road School. I had mentioned the YouTube earlier, thinking maybe we can get access to it. Go make a YouTube video exploring the property. But the more I read on it, the less I think I'd want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got here? The Municipal Auditorium in downtown Shreveport is obviously a haunted tale of Shreveport.
Yeah. Heard tales about that thing.
Oh yeah, chairs going flying, people falling from the balcony. Good times. Yeah, there's not much about the Municipal Auditorium. It's kind of your just basic little encounters with the spiritual world. But the Ellerby Road School, its haunting is supposed to be really bad. Like demonic level bad.
I just need to get out more. I guess I haven't heard of that. So.
Yep.
Yeah, you got, like you said, demonic. There was definitely some devil worshipping stuff going on there.
Well, you know.
Why have my question? Okay. Well, I read. What did I read on that? That someone has recently, well, I don't know, say recently bought it. The Baptist organization.
I did see that.
Where did I read that? Did they reopen it?
No, the school's abandoned. No.
Okay, these are old pictures. Okay. I wish y'all could see this. Anyway.
Well, let me see the picture you're looking at.
Well, it's just a 1965 edition of the George Washington Carver High School newspaper, the Hornet's Buzz.
Well, read about it. What's it say?
It's just giving pictures, not really anything.
Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next part of the topic, which is our own little city, Grand Cane.
Yeah, I was just looking at this George Washington Carver.
Oh, you're interested in that. See, we should go explore it.
You know.
Anyway, Grand Cane, right? Our little hometown, or my hometown, I guess, technically, is where we live, and it is said to be very haunted. We have people, especially the ones who own the coffee shop and the ones who owned it before them, have video footage of hauntings, right?
Mm-hmm. There's something.
Miss Rhonda Cox, yeah. When she owned the coffee shop, it was called 4C, and she has shown us video footage of, what was that? Was it a folder?
Something.
Yeah, there was an orb.
Like an orb.
And then something, I thought, got lifted in the air and thrown.
I don't remember that. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I don't remember that one.
Probably thinking of something else. But then, before the coffee... No. Back when Miss Amy owned the hair salon, she said she saw a lot of weird and heard weird things.
Mm-hmm. A lot in her shop.
Yeah. And apparently, Grand Cane is haunted by a little girl. And I think she's also probably the same one that haunts the school as well, which we talked about in the very beginning of the episode. I don't know. Yeah, it might be just two unfortunate little girls.
Yeah.
But anyway, people have seen her on the playground.
Really? I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Wow.
I forgot who told me that. I don't know. But yeah, the rumor of this little girl is pretty prevalent in downtown Grand Cane. A lot of the shop owners have seen or heard her.
Well, I do know, and there's also another merchant downtown, Lisa. She's at the other end of the building strip there. She's had things that's been moved off of her counters that she said there was no possible way that it could move, and it would have been found in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, like quite a few feet away from, because normally, if something would fall off the shelf, it would fall right there. And again, I don't know what the item was, but she's talked about that just noticed different things going on in that little store. I like to talk to her more as well, definitely. And then now my wife is the clerk here in Grand Cane, and as far as she knows, she has not experienced anything in her office, but the other merchants have.
Her office is kind of creepy too.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the old bank, I mean, but yeah, she's never mentioned anything that was kind of out of the ordinary, but several other, let's see, was it a couple, 2 or 3 of them have mentioned some things, but anyway.
A lot of the merchants that are there now talk about it. I would love to get a few of them on just to tell their little stories they have. I don't care if they're 2 minutes or 20 minutes long. It doesn't matter.
And we definitely will. Anyway, do you think each individual is more susceptible, is that the right word, to experience stuff like that? I mean, like you've experienced stuff
quite a bit,
but that I haven't. I mean, and even the location where we are, you have had some experiences where I haven't. So I'm just wondering if I wonder if people are more. What's the word I'm trying to say? I mean,
prone
they're more,
to it. Prone to it.
Yeah, I mean, more. Their bodies are more sensitive, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
to certain things.
I think a lot of people have the ability.
Yeah.
I'm not saying as far as I see dead people like the kid in Sixth Sense, but like.
Yeah.
I think they're more prone to having experiences. I don't know why. I've had quite a few little ghostly encounters. One in our home specifically is when it was college. I don't know if I told this in the first episode. I didn't tell this.
It seemed like everything happened when you were in college. What did college do to you?
Weird, huh?
No, go ahead.
Weird. By the way, I went
to
East...
I'm not going to sleep tonight now. Thank you for this story. But anyway, go ahead.
You're welcome. By the way, I went to East Texas Baptist University. Anyway, I was home one night because COVID had just hit. They sent us all home. I had some homework to do. I was doing a case study. I'm a criminal justice major, and so I was reading over a case, getting ready to write a review on it. And it was like 2:30 in the morning. I was super tired, but I was hungry and I was thirsty. So I got up out of my bed, kind of like rubbed the sleep out of my eyes, well, the tiredness, I guess, out of my eyes. And I noticed under kind of, the crack in between the door and the wall on the very floor on the bottom, the crack where you can see the light coming through. It looked like there was a silhouette standing on the other side of my door.
Thank you.
And so I said, that's strange. But I was so tired. In my tiredness, I jokingly said, screw you, ghost. And I walked into the kitchen, got me a bottle of water, took a sip, and as soon as I closed the lid, I got hit in the back of the head with a quarter that hit the ground and rolled into the living room. Nobody else was awake. Nobody else was up when I was. And I checked. Ben was fast asleep. Maggie was gone. I mean, she was asleep. I was the only one awake.
Now, you know, Maggie is a prankster now, so keep that in mind.
She was out.
Yeah.
There was no way she could have been faking the level of Z she was cutting when I went and checked on her.
Yeah, oh well.
Yeah, I got hit in the back of the head with that quarter, and ever since then, well, I don't say screw you, Ghost. If I see something, I just kind of leave it alone. I've also been home alone and have heard cowboy boots walking up our hardwood floor hallway. Boots make a very distinct noise on hardwood floors. You know, the clop, clop. And I've heard that twice when I've been home alone. It ain't the house settling, I can tell you that.
It better not be after we have it level. No, but
yeah, so I don't know. Some people are more subject to experiences, and I don't know why. That's something I'd be very interested in diving into.
You have the paranormal. I have the flying stuff up in the sky and stuff.
Yeah, I see dead people, and Dad sees weird flying objects.
Let's hope you don't see dead people. But
well, that's what ghosts are, right?
Well.
You believe in ghosts?
Sure, there's something out there. There's something going on.
Well, the Bible says, Jesus says that ghosts are not flesh and blood. So that kind of leads me, or flesh and bone. That kind of leads me to believe that maybe they're real. Are they good? I don't think so. Because, especially if they're a quote-unquote ghost of like a family member you used to love, I don't know. Demons have a way of using that stuff to try to trick you into letting them in, you know?
Yeah.
What better way to do that than disguising themselves as somebody you loved?
Yeah. Well, you know...
Again, I'm not saying everything's a demon. Ghost, on the other hand, I don't think there's anything good about. There could be, I don't know. But one hit me in the back of the head with a quarter, so he was obviously mad.
Something did, huh?
Yeah. What were you saying?
No, I was going to, I'm talking about it here in Grand Cane. Even our church has been, people have talked about our church having visitors, you know. And
Brother Mike's, that's our pastor, his story sends chills up my spine.
That's pretty creepy.
To the best of my ability, I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'm going to tell it to the best of my ability. Basically, he was by himself in the church, and I believe he was working on a sermon. And
in his office.
Yes, in his office. He's working on a sermon, and he said he felt something was watching him, and when he looked up, he could see eyes peering at him. Oh my gosh, I'm getting
creepy. The doors now have like these, I don't know how wide that glass, 3-inch
windows,
wide.
like the size of my notebook.
Yeah,
probably 4
inches wide by, I don't know, 24 inches tall.
18 to 24.
Mainly those are put in for security purposes.
Yeah, anyway. He said he could see eyes peering at him through.
I saw somebody looking at him.
He saw somebody staring at him, and he said he got up, he took his notebook, and he left.
Yeah.
Ever since then, he's had, and it's true, he has had a piece of paper hung in that window.
Yeah, a couple of times. Well, the first time he told me, he saw this, he caught it out of the corner of his eye. Then when he turned to look, it was gone.
Yep.
So he thought maybe someone had gotten into the church and was looking for him for counseling. And when he got up, to open the door, when he opened the door, nothing was there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, like Jake said, he eventually, this happened obviously several times because he couldn't concentrate on his sermon. He eventually got a piece of paper or a couple of pieces of paper and blocked that window so that it wouldn't be whatever this was appearing in would not be a distraction.
Right.
And then there was one time, I didn't mean to cut you off either, but he was talking about the time when he heard sounded like talking.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that.
In the new part of the auditorium of the church. This wasn't the old part, because there is an old part, which is actually the part that he's in that's connected to the new part of the auditorium. Anyway, he thought it was his wife in there because she does a lot of the flower arrangements and all that. So he heard sounded like talking, and so he got up and went in there and to see what she was up to, and but when he walked in, the stopped and no one was in there.
Yeah.
So, and then actually my daughter, she has an office there. She works with the youth, and she heard piano playing in the new sanctuary.
Yep.
And again, she thought that our music director was in there practicing on a song. And when she got up and walked, I guess when she walked in there, the music stopped. The piano playing stopped. And she just pretty much left out. And as she was leaving, the music director and a friend of his was coming across the street from the Family Life Center.
Yeah.
So she had just freaked her out. I think she ended up going home for the rest of the day.
I'd have taken my leave early.
So that's been going on. And there's stuff like that, that's going on in our town, Grand Cane. And we've actually had, I don't know what you call them, paranormal investigators. Didn't they go to the school?
I don't know where all they went, but it was the ghost.
The school in downtown, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Ghost Hunters team.
Yeah, they used to be on TV.
I think they did go to school.
I think they did.
They definitely went to a few buildings downtown.
Yeah.
The Cook Hill House, I think.
Oh yeah, Cook Hill House. That's another one.
I got some stories from Cook Hill too.
Yeah, we've got to talk to that lady too that runs it because she's experienced some things.
I was there one time. It was when you and Mom renewed your vows, and we were all outside. I don't know how old we were. We were just playing around outside. And I had just gotten like an iPhone, and I went into the shed in the back, and I took a photo, and there was a noose tied to the rafters.
Yeah, I remember that.
But then I looked up, and there's no noose there. That was weird.
Yep.
I said, first of all, why is there a ghostly noose?
Never heard of that.
Yeah, there was straight up it was a legitimate noose. You could see it tied up like a noose, and looking in there was nothing tied. The rafters were just bare. So Louisiana is haunted. Grand Cane's haunted. It's very interesting.
I guess every little town probably is. They all have their stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jefferson, Texas is another haunted little town.
Yeah.
Very, very haunted, actually. But that's beside the point. I think we might wrap it up here.
Yep.
It's been a good episode.
I hope we didn't bore you.
No, I hope not.
We'll there again, we just felt like one of the topics that needed to be explained as to where we're from and what we've experienced. And
yeah, if anything, this will give you a little dive into where we come from and the stories we hear and what our little town has in store for you if you come visit.
Right.
But we're not exactly sure what episode 3 will be on yet, but that will be when it comes out you'll know. So this has been fun. We talked about everything. We talked about the rougarou. We talked about the Honey Island Swamp Monster, our own New Orleans vampire, and just how haunted Louisiana is.
Yeah,
so,
maybe just some of the things that a lot of people didn't even know about.
Yeah,
they
like
just
you said you didn't know about.
Right, there's a lot of things I didn't know about, and then just didn't want people to think our state's just full of good people and good food. There are other things going on.
Yeah, weird stuff
but
is unexplainable.
Yep.
Yeah, if you like it, hope you subscribe to our page.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends about us. Try to get the word out there. Like I said, I'm going to try to have a submission form and website set up soon so you can start sending in stories.
Right.
But we hope to have maybe episode 3 or 4. The aforementioned Mr. Jameson May, our music director, is doing a cool little study on dinosaurs. I don't want to give away too much.
Awesome.
But it's very cool how he's connecting the dinosaurs to some biblical stories. That's all I'm going to say, because when he comes on, which he did say he would love to come on, obviously I want to give him the space to tell all that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's just a little hint of what is to come. Yeah. But until then, we can't thank y'all enough for the ones who did listen and who will continue listening. So, yeah, Dad, you got any closing remarks?
No. We just, again, like Jake, we just thank everyone. Just kind of bear with us again while we're ironing out all of this.
Yeah, as we get all this fleshed out.
Yeah,
it may take a minute, but we'll get there.
We'll get there, and then hopefully drop us a line or two if you get a chance, and let us know what else you like for us to talk about, or again, we talk about this. If you have any kind of stories or whatever, we'd love to hear. And
I guess I could drop my email if somebody wants to send in a story while we're getting all that set up. My email is jaeaves5@yahoo.com. That's my personal email, or you can send it to beyondthebayoupodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, and mine is beeves1214@gmail.com. So love to hear from you, and just like I said, drop us a line. And again, we thank y'all again so much for listening, and tell your friends. And we just, like I said, we just love talking about this stuff. Love to hear other people's stories too as well.
Definitely, any story is welcome. I don't care how weird or how just unnatural it sounds. I want to know about it.
Yeah.
Dad wants to know about it, and I think our listeners are very keen to want to know about it as well.
The happenings in and around Louisiana. So
yeah, well, no, not just Louisiana.
Well, no, in and around and
beyond
out.
The Bayou.
Beyond the Bayou.
Beyond
That's
the Bayou. Right. So thanks for listening. Tune in next time when we tell some more stories beyond the Bayou.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next time.